again, this is a stat, more than 95% of the projects which are deployed on chain are not audited.
Oh my God.
Now, if they are not audited, what is the reason for them to not be audited? When we know that security is the biggest concern,
Yeah,
there
yeah.
are two reasons. The one is
Welcome to Ofofo Studio. My guest for today is Abhishek Singh, CEO and co-founder at SecureDApp. SecureDApp is into blockchain security. Abhishek, welcome to the show.
thank you, Angad. Thank you for having me here today.
Thanks. And how is Web3 doing as a space?
Oh, that's a
A very
complete
loaded question.
decentralized space.
Yeah.
It has been evolving,
Hmm.
and we are seeing this getting matured in in some time. So this space is still immature.
Yeah.
A lot of users are coming in,
Yeah.
and with time, we believe it is going to be a very mature space for
Hmm.
somebody to build a career, build a product,
Right.
try out different things in Web3 space.
Right. So,
Good
like,
question.
there's definitely a space everybody is really excited about. But we were talking earlier, like, there are a lot of companies who are into Web3, but not most of them do not really have a strong user base as of now. Right? What's the horizon that we're looking at? When can we expect Web3 to be mainstream?
Very interesting question. So the question that you are asking me is, when do we expect Web3 to be
Mainstream, yeah.
mainstream?
Yeah.
Let me tell you, it is a journey of a company as of now.
Mhm.
First, in any industry, if you see, or any space you see, the companies gets into it, they start building product, and then the user adopts.
Correct.
So in
Correct.
Web3,
Hmm.
we are at first stage, which is very initial stage. There are multiple companies who has got into Web3.
Right.
They have been building into it. I'm sure you may be aware about a lot of DeFi,
Right.
dApps,
Yeah.
and DAO, which
Yeah.
has come into picture.
Right.
So they all have, so and then it is, since it is decentralized across the world, these products are coming up.
Right.
Now, with bull market coming, we expect a lot of users to engage and adopt Web3 in order to protect their identity.
Hmm.
Because that is the best part of Web3, correct?
Right.
We want to be decentralized. We do not want our securities to be compromised.
Absolutely.
So it's a matter of time, Anga. There is no definite time,
Mhm.
but we believe in few years' time, you'll see a lot of massive pool of users coming into Web3 space.
Right. So if you were to put it on a context of like timelines, if can we compare it to what Web2 was like in a particular year where we are right now? So probably like you can be like where we were in 2006 or 7 with respect to Web2, we are in Web3. What year would that be?
Absolutely. So what we were in the dot-com time when it evolved from 2000 to 2005. A lot of companies adopted. They started going online,
Right.
and they started doing business, and a lot of businesses came. Be it few of the best startups which has come from a dot-com industry.
Yeah.
And that time was, you will see, 2002. 2008, 9, 10,
Yeah.
that was the space.
Yeah.
Now in Web3, you say that the concept itself was introduced in 2008 or 9.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now we are hardly 10, 12 years from that time.
Hmm.
Now what we see is, and so far we have been building the products, we have been building different dApps to give some sort of comfort to the user that this is how they can migrate into Web3,
Right.
ensuring that what they want to do, they
Mhm.
can do that. We believe we are at that stage where we were 15 years back when it was Web 2.
Got it.
So add another 10 to 15 years into this,
So
and you will
pre-smartphone era.
absolutely.
Okay.
So add another 10 to 15 years into this space, and you will see not even that. I believe even much more before that, because of the fact that that time it was not easy to get through online.
Right.
That was internet was not easily available.
Yeah.
Now all that is available.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
only the migration. If users are easily able to get into their dApps, easily able to use their product, you'll say another 5, 6 years, things will evolve here.
Got it. Got it. So, what are some of the bigger companies doing in order to everybody's expecting this? right? Now let's talk about Meta. How do you think they're preparing for it?
Oh, so if you ask me, there are multiple companies, be it Meta, be it Alphabet, be it they all have their Web3, and I'm sure you would have seen that they call themselves startup for Web3 or Web3 for startups, spatial programs wherein they want Web3 companies to adopt their product.
Right, right,
Correct?
right.
They all have been trying. They are at similar stage where we all are at. Obviously they are front leading it because they are the infrastructure
Yeah,
player.
yeah,
Correct.
yeah, exactly.
However, in Web3 you will see a lot of chains, and they act as an infrastructure level. They have already come, be it your Ethereum, be it your Polka, or a Bitcoin, Binance.
Yeah.
They all chains are working at infrastructure level, and to help those infrastructure company, there are some securities company who have come up.
Okay.
So now then the infrastructure is ready, security is ready, and uh, specific use case dapps has to be ready for users to adopt.
Got it. So how is Web3 security different from Web 2?
Oh, interesting question. So, what I'll just make it easy for your listeners.
Yes,
You have a something called cyber security.
absolutely.
We call it blockchain security.
Okay.
Everywhere you know that there is a security aspect which needs to be taken care. There are a
Yeah.
lot of vulnerabilities. There are a lot of attacks happening in your codes or contracts. That's where a security is important. In blockchain space, this is even risky because a lot of money is into it.
Right.
So security is still there. There is a vulnerability detection. There has to be retrency attacks detection. However, these all things are bound with smart contracts.
Yes.
And so Web3 differentiate Web2 from because of smart contracts. So you deal with me through a line of codes. These lines of codes are smart contract written on the logic of if and but.
Correct. So when a smart contract is being audited, when it's being checked for vulnerabilities, what is being done? Like, are there some controls that you're following? Are there some standards, or is it what do they refer to when they're doing the audits?
Oh, so audit is a complete process. Here,
Okay.
in what you are supposed to do it. First of all, you have to understand the requirement of the project.
Okay.
Second, you have to understand the business logic of the project.
Okay.
Because every business will have a different logic.
Yeah.
And accordingly the contract should be written.
Correct.
Correct. And then to for those contracts you have to get into technicalities.
Okay.
Now the technicalities could be a retrency attacks can happen.
What's a retrency attack?
So retrency attacks are kind of attack which has been massive.
Okay.
When it so a lot of the money which has been hacked or has been compromised into Web3 space is because of retrency attack. I'm not saying 100%, but more than 90%.
Wow.
Now, when I say this, what it is for a layman to understand, in smart contract there are two things which is written. One is a logic, which is about uh, how do we call it, deposit function and withdrawal function.
Okay.
So
Okay.
every contract has a two functions which are
Right.
very important: a
Right.
deposit function and a withdrawal function. Now, if anything goes wrong in these logics, that is where a hacker or somebody who wants to get into your smart contract is trying to get into, and these logics are mostly a part of retrency attack.
Correct. Can you give me some examples or some anecdotes of something that you helped patch up?
So I'm sure you may have heard about a DAO attack. DAO attack was about 2016-17. A massive money was moved from a smart contract using this retrency attack.
Okay.
They entered using these attacks and pulled out a lot of money, close to 650 million money.
Oh my God.
From smart contracts. And from that time people understood the importance of blockchain security.
What's at stake? Yeah.
What is at stake, and
Yeah.
every contract. I'll give you some figures. These are as latest as 6 months or 8 months back. As per Gartner, and there are three important bodies, they have come together and did, in every smart contract attack, the average loss is about 18.8 million as of 2022
That's average.
average.
That's insane.
So you can understand it would
Yeah.
have been much more, and there
Yeah.
are some small projects which have a loss, but
Right.
average is about 18.8 million.
Wow. Wow.
Total
Hmm.
money which has been compromised because of the hacks,
Hmm.
and the smart contract was not audited properly or even not at all audited, is touching more than 10 billion
Oh my
by
God.
2022. We are expecting 23 reports to come now.
That that is there's a lot of scope for your services. Then I would just say, yeah.
Yeah. So obviously this is where you feel like, no, the users protection has to be there.
Right.
It has to happen at right time,
Mm-hmm.
and we are here to help them out.
When did you start SecureDApp, Abhishek?
So we started the company almost 1.5 year back.
Okay.
However, we got it registered 8 months back.
Okay.
Mm.
What were you doing before that?
Me personally,
Yeah.
I was heading a marketing for a brand called Hirect India. It was a hiring app
Yeah, it's very
for
popular.
complete India business. So I was heading that.
Oh wow.
And I have a co-founder. His name is Himanshu Gautam.
Mm-hmm.
He comes from IIT Kanpur,
Mm-hmm.
and he is the one who leads the tech part at SecureDApp.
Mm-hmm.
He has been part of a lot of dApps and the security and a blockchain dApps development. And from there, we came together and SecureDApp happened.
How did you decide like this was a space that you wanted to get into? Because not a lot of people do that.
So Angad, this is where we had, like, we were three co-founders
Mm-hmm.
who were initially started deliberating into what needs to be done into blockchain space,
Okay.
and without naming, all of a sudden one of the co-founder decided before, but the good part is we had not incorporated the company.
Okay.
He decided to move on, and two of us stuck
Mm-hmm.
and said, no, we will crack it, we will
Yeah.
crack the industry.
Yeah.
Then the big question that we had is about what is the space that we should get into blockchain.
Right.
And we saw there are two important problems. One is, again, this is a stat, more than 95% of the projects which are deployed on chain are not audited.
Oh my God.
Now, if they are not audited, what is the reason for them to not be audited? When we know that security is the biggest concern,
Yeah.
there
Yeah.
are two reasons. The one is the cost of an audit is, like, not everybody can afford. It comes around 8 to 10,000 USD average.
Oh my God.
So one audit cost of a good project will go about this, and the time taken and the awareness about this. So these were the reason a lot of companies or the projects have not been audited, and we thought that let's take it on. Let's solve how can we reduce the time, and let's solve how can we make it as feasible as possible for somebody to ensure that they get it audited before they deploy.
Got it. Got it. So how do you increase the amount of companies that come to you for security? Like how do you generate awareness about it, and also how do you uh, secure them as a result of that?
So, so what we do in our space is, there are two things that we concentrate. We work on community and content.
Okay.
There are a lot of content that we create to educate our community that why is security important,
Mm-hmm.
what is the kind of loss that can happen,
Right.
or what are the kind of attacks that is happening that they should be knowing,
Yeah.
when is that happening. So we generate a lot of content and educate, and to whom we do that is to our community. And who is our community? They are mostly the developers,
Right.
the web3 projects owners,
Yeah.
and most of them, I'm sure you may be aware, Angad, that they are doing their grads or engineering, and overnight they are coding, and
Right.
they are building a web3 projects.
Yeah.
And that is where we feel that they do not take the security seriously, because they know they are expert in coding, they
Yeah.
have been able to deliver, and they are seeing some videos and deploying the project, but they do not have enough money or a time or awareness that they should go for a audit before they deploy the project. And that's where we feel that they are the right users. We have to educate them, we have to make them aware, and at the same time give them some product which can just solve their problem.
Got it. So I mean, okay, So when you help them secure themselves, is it a managed service approach, or do you have a product that you lead with?
We are a product based company.
Okay. Okay.
What we did is we so this industry is mostly dominated by manual auditing,
Right.
and we are not against it, we because there are business logics, there are business cases
Absolutely. Like,
where you need manual intervention.
correct.
However, if you get into the manual for every small project or every project, then
The costs are
this
going to shoot up.
the cost is going to shoot up.
Yeah.
Every time you need about an auditor, an expert of smart contract, and the scientist is what we call it within our team, to look into their project, and the cost of them is heavy.
Obviously, yeah.
So what we did is, in last 8 to 9 months, we built a product. We worked on a concept and came up with a product called Solidity Shield.
Okay.
This is an AI powered vulnerability detection application.
Okay.
What an auditor can do in 2 weeks time, this can do in 30 seconds.
Oh wow.
What will cost you about 8,000 to 10,000 USD will cost you less than 500 USD.
Right.
So this is where we were trying to approach, and of course we are able to do that because all that we have to do is almost done. But since it is an AI powered product, we have to keep upgrading it, keep training it from backward for the
Right.
new vulnerabilities, for new business logics, for the new compilers, and then keep it up to date for everybody to scan their project.
It's called Solidity Shield.
Solidity Shield.
Okay. And how is it, like, I've heard of other AI powered scanners built by other Web3 security companies as well. How does Solidity Shield differentiate itself?
Oh, and that's a very good question. Now, this is written on the logic of, again, we were talking about recurrency. I'm also going to talk about cache issue, optimization issue. There are compilers which needs to go for every scan. There are visual tools which has to be a part of, or else you have to do it separately,
Right.
run through a visual tools.
Yeah.
So what we did is we brought all together, worked on this, and made it easy and user friendly. So this is if you want me, what is the one thing that a user should drive? I think simplicity.
Right.
You just go there, upload your contract, give the OTP, and verify your email ID, and within a minute, I say about in some seconds, you are ready to just scan your project.
Wow.
And then and there, I believe at present we are the first player wherein you can download your audit report.
Wow.
Which will tell you where are the vulnerabilities, where are the problems, which line the codes has to be revisited, and go work it out and again scan it, is what I'm saying.
What's the pricing for this like?
It starts somewhere from $200 to $500.
That's not a lot. That's
correct.
Pretty reasonable. Amazing. So because there are no standards in Web3, there are a lot of gray areas when it comes to regulations, and the government is not very savvy as well. So with some of the regulatory requirements that they're catching up on, like the Privacy Act, and there are some updates being made to GST as well. Is there anything in any initiative by them that impacts Web3, or is there anything that they should be looking for?
So now this is the question which is about regulation.
Yeah.
And here the best part is almost all the governments across the world are trying to regulate it, and they are trying to come up with some through which they can regulate and have more visibility in what is happening. Now, many of my peers, or I'll say many people, feel that okay, this is not a right space, it should not be regulated. But I believe with regulation, you are validating a point that this is a legit industry.
Correct. Yeah.
So let more regulations come, and the moment more regulations are there, the regulations are here to help the ultimate users, correct?
Yeah.
Businesses, your all other stakeholders that is part of ecosystem. So we do not feel anything wrong in compiling with regulators. However, I have one more important point. Recently, since you made this point that there are GST and the taxation has come, this means it is good for our industry.
Right.
It means whatever I am transacting into, or in tokens or coins, that I have to pay some part of that. I know, I'm aware about it, close to 30%.
Yeah.
Whenever I'm withdrawing my funds,
Right.
which means my fund is legal.
Right.
I'll pay you, and after that, my fund is legal. So it is good that government is working. However, it could be less. That is a different
Yeah.
question. That is a
That's a
different
lot. That's
question.
very steep.
But a regulation coming into this space, mostly from India angle, I'll say, is going to help Web3 space. And I know certain bodies who are working very closely with the government to make them educate. Like, they do not have education, I believe.
Right.
The people driving innovation do not have education about how this space works.
Yeah. Perfect. Is there anything else on the future roadmap for Solidity Shield?
Absolutely. So what we are thinking of is, to be on top of that, we are also coming up with a product called Solidity Shield Plus.
Okay.
This is going to be a tool which is be on time, on chain tool. So if there is anything wrong happening in your project which is already deployed, or
Right.
somebody is trying to get into your project or a contract,
Yeah.
this will trigger a message to you.
Mhm.
This will tell you that you have some time, somebody is trying to play with your contracts.
Yeah.
Again, this project or a kind of products, I believe, are not available easily,
Yeah.
or made with a lot of logics.
Yeah.
So together with Solidity Shield and Solidity Shield Plus, pre-deployment and post-deployment, we are trying to cater the complete security journey of a project which is building into Web3 space.
So post deployment, I would guess it would work like a subscription, right? It
In fact, this current product also works as a subscription.
Okay. Yeah. So there's continuous security as you keep it.
Correct.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Okay, let's shift gears. Let's talk about uh, like what are some of the marketing initiatives that you go for?
The good part about our community is, in Web3 space, you have a very educated community.
Yeah.
That is something that that only when you know coding, only when you are into blockchain, when you are into new age technology, you are a part of Web3.
Right.
So we do not have to take that effort to educate you, which has gone long back in Web2 space.
Right.
My community is very educated. Here what we do is we do a lot of partnership with events that is happening around Web3, and
Okay.
we also do a lot of partnership with anything which is happening into security space. Now when I say security space, it could be a blockchain security or could be Web2 cyber security. Uh, so because we are primarily a security player, it doesn't matter you are addressing a problem of Web2 or Web3.
Right.
But at the end, you are solving a problem of security.
Correct.
So we do partnership with them and work with them. I mentioned that we do work on a community, we do work on a content. We have a dedicated Twitter space that works.
Well, what's the name of the space for the listeners?
It's called Blockchain Bytes.
Blockchain Bytes.
Correct.
Okay. Right.
And along with that, we have a weekly campaign which is called Outsmart.
Outsmart.
It is a campaign which takes a sarcasm on its own about the Web3 and the builders or the developers, just
Makes
to
the
make
content more consumable.
absolutely, just to make everybody on
fun.
the lighter side, that
Yeah.
okay, we are into a space which is not very clear which way we are heading.
Right,
So
right.
just keep smiling, guys. So these are few of the marketing initiative. Plus, if you ask me about the handles, we work a lot on Discord,
Okay.
Telegram, and our social media handles, which is a bouquet of almost all handles.
And if someone has to reach out to you, they reach out to you via these handles, or is there any other way as well?
Most of them reach us out via these handles. However, anybody can write us at hello@securedapp.in.
Perfect. Perfect. All right. I'll take this moment to wrap it up, Abhishek.
Thank you.
It's an absolute pleasure talking to you.
It is amazing coming here. I would just like to say that amazing talking to you, and my best wishes to Ofofo team.
Thank you.
And we are here to work with you for securing business at a larger scale.
Thanks a lot,
Thank
Abhishek.
you. Thank
Thanks.
you.